Hello everyone and welcome to Harv's World for Season 2 of Off the Grid. Notice of Foreclosure. Bank of the North hereby provides notice that Willamina Sawmill, pursuant to NC 431.68, now becomes the sole possession of Bank of the North, BOTN. Acting with due cause and rightful authority, BOTN exercises its right of remedy as defined in the deed of trust. Such cause of action may be pursued due to default on the loan agreement, failure to maintain sufficient insurance, failure to pay property taxes, failure to operate a business as intended, or undisclosed conflicts of interest. Oh my God. Hugo, what have you done? I'm back. And I can't believe it's been such a long time. Man, it's been a long, long time. And things aren't really the way I left them. My goodness. A lot has been going on. A lot's been going on in the 3 years I was away. I can't even believe it was 3 years. These things happen when you lose your memory, but still. Wow. Can you believe this used to be the sawmill? Look what they've done. I love that rustic old sawmill. Now we've got this fancy smancy power plant. Oh gosh. Well, it's been an interesting week or so. Maybe not quite a week. Something like that. Anyway, flew back in a few days ago. Ed picked me up at the airport. He was very happy to see me. I was very happy to see him. And spent a few days with him. Getting caught back up again. He was very happy to find out I was still alive and out in the world. They tried to find me and were unsuccessful. I don't know where they looked or how they looked or anything like that. I mean, the truth is they didn't know where I was going. I'll fill you in on that here in just a second. I'm looking at what's going on here, and it's just, man, I mean, I knew they were really coming in here and clearing out the place, but goody, we have a strip mall. That's yeah. Well, they have a strip mall. I'm not going to call it mine. My side of the lake is still my side of the lake. None shall pass. There's Willa Devcore. Oh, and it looks like we've got an agricultural dealer here. And well, it wouldn't be a town without a church now, would it? Although I have to say, they did a good job on the church. Basketball court, playground for the kiddies, sandbox, I guess, more than anything. County building, apparently. We've got a fire department. Remember when this used to be nothing but forest? Like over there? You couldn't even hardly drive around because there were so many trees, and now all of that's gone. Man, look at these houses. Yeah. Well, we knew that lifestyles of the rich and famous were coming to Willamina. That was obvious from Willa Devcore and the roughly $500,000 properties they were selling on the lakefront. Man. Well, I mean, you can't stop progress, right? That doesn't mean I have to necessarily live with it, though. No way, no how. And more development going on up here. We've even got speed limit signs. Really? Well, yeah, I'm sure. Man, look at all the construction still going on. Hugo told me the trucks have pretty much been rolling in and out of here for the past 3 years. About as quickly as they can do whatever they do. So anyway, I stayed with Ed for a few days. Got caught back up again. Man, it was good to see that guy. Oh, good, and we've got police patrols. Isn't that lovely? Of course we do. The rich and famous wouldn't feel comfortable without some kind of police patrol going on, right? Anyhow, I did get to stop in and see Chuck also. Chuck is doing very well. He is, he's in a retirement community now. They finally got his health squared away. He's, much more stable on the health front, but not well enough to live on his own, and he does need some additional medical treatment that his family didn't feel like they would be able to successfully provide at home. So over much tears and deliberation, I'm sure, for Charlie and others, they got him set up. Now he's not, it's not like a nursing home or anything. He's still living fairly independently, but it's not like he'll ever be able to come back to Willamina. And the old farm market is looking pretty beat up. I'm gonna have to get this squared away. Although I might have a new idea for that. Pierre's been looking after everything for me, even when he didn't know where I was or if I'd even be coming back, which was, that's a genuine question they had. Is he ever coming back after such a long time? Well, things dilapidate over time. Pierre was never a farmer. He never had any intention of being a farmer. And so it's not like he was going to be working my fields or anything. I was only supposed to be gone a couple of weeks. So, this is what happened. After the whole situation with Hugo, and we're going to get into Hugo here in just a little bit because I'm kind of annoyed with him. After the whole situation went down with Hugo in the sawmill, I hung around for a couple of weeks, maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and tried to deal with some of the aftermath. But then I finally I went to Pierre and I said, look, I've got to get away for a while. I need to just step back and regroup. So I'm going to take about a 2-week vacation. I'm just going to travel. But I didn't say where I was going. And so I said, I'll let you know when I get there. Well, before I got there and could let anybody know, I had that terrible, terrible accident and had lost my memories. And man, Pierre has done a lot of work on the roads through here, I have to tell you. He's got all the gravel in. And this is his place, if you remember that we cleared this for him so he could start building up his life back here. He's worked hard through here too. Let's see what he's got set up. Wow, Pierre, you're doing well for yourself, man. Nice job. I think he's been a little bit influenced by the people on the other side of the lake. Look at this fancy house he's got. Solar panels and the whole 9 yards. Oh, and look at that. James. Hi, boy. How you doing? Been a long time, huh? Been a long time. Well, you're Pierre's boy now. You stay with Pierre. Yeah, Pierre was looking after James while I was gone. And, well, James is probably more Pierre's dog now than he was mine. And I don't have the heart to try to take him back. As much as I love James, I think he's going to be better off just staying with Pierre. And I get to visit him whenever I want to, so it's not like he's far away. Now, Hugo, let me tell you, Hugo, I actually just went over this morning to talk to him. And we talked for a good couple hours. And he's upset with me. He feels like I ran away or bailed out on him when he needed needed a friend the most. And, to some degree I can understand that, but at the same time I explained to him that, I didn't choose to be in this accident. I didn't choose to lose my memory. It's not like I had control over this. I was going to be gone for a couple weeks, come back, and do everything that I could. And, it's not like he's not the one who caused all this to begin with. So it's pretty galling to think that he's annoyed with me for being gone when I had, especially when I had no control over it. Now I know he understands that, and he's just being emotional about it, and he'll sort it out over time. But you know, own your own stuff, man. This wasn't my problem to fix to begin with. In fact, I'm out $250,000 on this deal. I had that much money invested in the sawmill, but it was never about the money. It was not once about the money, because the money was all about helping Chuck and, you know, trying to save Chuck. And we accomplished that goal. And I haven't really had a chance to look around the barnyard yet and see what all's going on here. Although it looks to be a bit of a mess. I think, based on what Pierre's told me, he kind of scrambled to make sure everything was at least back up here, because they had borrowed some stuff and returned it and whatnot. Man, it's just jammed in here. Well, at least he, I guess he parked the Peterbilt to keep anybody from going in, since I never built a door for that barn. Right now, I just need to get this thing out of the way. So, yeah, you know, I never cared about the money. The money was never the issue for me. You know, $250,000, yes, that's a lot to lose, but that was the risk that I took, and it was worth it, because ultimately it was to help Chuck. Fine. So, I'm a little annoyed with Hugo at the moment. He'll get over himself. He'll come around, but it's just going to take some time. Oh, I don't even know where to begin. Oh, yes, I do. I know exactly where to begin. So, Pierre did tell me he'd taken care of the animals for a few months until it became obvious that I just wasn't coming back, and he couldn't work and give them all the care that they necessarily needed. Again, he also didn't know if I was coming back. Nobody knew what was going on, so he ended up selling off the animals. The old cattle barn that I built up over there, and then the little chicken coop that I had, over time had fallen into disrepair, so he just removed them, which is fine. You know, that makes complete sense. Now, Raster, my horse Raster, I specifically asked about that, and he told me that Hugo has Raster and has kept Raster just in the hopes that I would return, which is true, because I did get to see Raster this morning, and I asked Hugo if he wouldn't mind keeping him for a little while longer, because I don't have anything at the homestead to take care of him at the moment. So the first order of business around here is A, getting this place in order, getting stuff cleaned up and repaired, and I want to get a crop in the field, and in order to get Raster back here, that crop is going to be oats, because I'm going to need the oats for feed, and I'm going to need the straw for bedding. And then, I don't know if you recall or not, but I did plant this pasture with grass. So, I mean, grass is grass. It's going to stay there. Luckily, so I've got plenty of haymaking opportunity, and that will take care of getting all Raster back in here. That is a big, big priority right now. Okay, so that's kind of where things stand here in Willamina. At least on my front of things. Man, getting everything out of here. Oh, it's good to be back. Oh, the old International. Love it. Now, as far as the town goes, Willa Bay over there, that's what they're calling it, Willa Bay. I don't care. You know, they can do what they want to do. They don't bother me. I'm not going to bother them, but Um, and I will take advantage of the things I have available to me, but I still came up here with a purpose, and that was to be self-sufficient, and that's still going to be my goal. That's what I want. That's what I need. That's what I'm going to do. At the same time, and I kind of started this early on, which you know, which you saw, was that when I live in a place like this beautiful, with these amazing surroundings, a gorgeous lake, and these folks come in and they want it to be, for the pristine, the elite, the wealthy. Well, that I don't agree with whatsoever. When you have natural beauty like this, everybody should have the opportunity to share in it. And so that's my other goal, and it has been for quite some time, even though I don't know I said it so directly, but that's my other goal. Is to make a place where everybody can come and enjoy it. So I've got some ideas. Cooking up in my head about how to make sure everybody can enjoy Willamina Forest. Not just the people with $10 million in their bank accounts. And my ideas are most certainly going to annoy the people who have $10 million in their bank accounts. Because they want to be elitist and have their own little private place. Well, guess what? You decided to come to a place where there's a guy who happens to not agree with that line of thinking. So, suck it up, Buttercup. Well, those ideas either will or will not come to fruition, but I'm going to do my darndest to see what I can do to make them happen. As things stand right now, I'm just going to get this field plowed. Off to a good start. Oh, I just missed a spot. A little wider down here than I expected it to be. Look at that. Man, is that not a beautiful thing? Yes, it's the little things. Sometimes you just have to love the little things. At this point, I have called the shop. I got their number, that agricultural supply dealer down there. And they have exactly what I need, and I'm going to at least get this stuff repaired up. Oh, anything around the toolbox I can take care of right now. Cost me a little bit, but not a horrible amount. There we go. Anyway, they have what I needed. But man, are they expensive. Ooh, those guys are expensive. But they said they've got what I need. They'll set it out. And so my next task is to run over there and pick up my supplies. They got me all loaded up. That was nice of them. I didn't necessarily expect that, but they did for sure. Got some lime, got some fertilizer, and got some seed. And whew, man, are they expensive. Now, as to the money I've got at the moment, well, when I left Chellington, I had about 72,000 pounds. 72,000 quid, if you will. Or no, 52,000 quid, if you will. It was 52,000. Of course, coming back here, I had to have that converted into dollars, US dollars. So that ended up being about 72,000 US dollars. Of course, I spent some money coming back and ended up, all told, hitting Willamina with about 68,000 to get me started back up here again. Now, as far as Triple H Farm and Harv's Helping Hands go, so as you know, I left Julie in charge, and I split the business with her. She got 50% of Harv's Helping Hands, and I have 50% of Harv's Helping Hands. I retained ownership of Triple H Farm there in Chellington, but it's Julie's to use at her disposal. So, you know, if she works that farm, makes money off of it, if the sheep bring in money, she's taking care of them, then so much the better. That's all her money to keep. But as far as Harv's Helping Hands go, when the lawyers drew up the paperwork, I had them set it up in such a way that most of the money goes back into the business, and it pays Julie and I a monthly salary. So from time to time I will have a little bit of extra cash coming in from that, so I'm never going to be 100% cash poor, but it's not enough that I can rely on it completely. So we'll see how that all sorts itself out, you know, over time. Now, one of the big money makers that I had around here was the forest, obviously, bringing logs to the sawmill. Well, the sawmill is no more, so I may have to find a solution for that. And that's going to mean talking to Chuck. And I didn't think about this while I was coming back through and visiting with him, but, you know, 7-hour drive back out here with Ed, I did have some time to think about what I was facing. Well, on the trip from Chellington too, but not in full. So, again, an idea is brewing. I need to discuss it with Chuck first. We will see. Now, I don't want to get in too big a hurry unloading this stuff because, frankly, I don't know where everything is and how it's all set up. So what I think I need to do first... Ah, the little Ursus. Outstanding. It's been a long time, girl. Been a long time. I think I'm just going to get everything out, get it cleaned up, use what I need, and then I'll worry about organizing it. And I'm sure, based on how much junk there is sitting around here, that I did not pull that out nearly far enough. Maybe not pull everything out. We'll see. There's the planter that Ed brought me. Some things have gone missing, by the way. I had a tank here, a little tank trailer full of fertilizer. I don't know what's happened to that. I noticed down at the lumber mill, or not the lumber mill, the farm market, that my my lawnmower was gone. Don't know what's happened to that. You know, 3 years these things happen. I'll ask Pierre, but I'm sure it's those have long since been forgotten. Oh, my baler. I can't wait to use this thing again. This was always fun. Probably make some use out of that as I'm trying to get raster all sorted out. Man, stuff just got shoved in here. Oh, I can't complain. Like I said, 3 years gone. What do I expect? You know, Pierre did a great job of keeping things taken care of. I'm not going to say a word about anything. It's all good because 90% of it's here and in good shape. So, oh, my little water trailer. I won't need that. Well, I will need this if I want to get raster back in here. Ooh, watch that header. And I don't think that needs to be anywhere but out of the way. It's not like it needs any major repairs or anything. Oh, it's still full of water too. What do you know? That's going to be brackish and foul. Let's see. Oh, the old Chevy. Outstanding. You know, I'm not sure why I necessarily keep this around, except I really like it. I haven't used it for anything. Ever since I bought it from Chuck, I really haven't used it. So, I don't know. Maybe we'll find a use for it. I haven't used it for much, at least. And this big old loader. Now this, I did not have before. This came from the sawmill. So before I left, the bank had a big auction to sell off the assets of the sawmill, and I went to the auction and managed to pick this thing up. I felt like, because as much logging as I was doing at the time, I mean, you know how many logs I've loaded. You've seen all that. Well, I felt like this could really come in handy. Do a much better job than my little telehandler. I think I'm only going to pull just a couple more things out of here. Things I think I might need in the not too distant future. There's my old Russian harvester. Outstanding. That I'll pull out when it's ready for her, when I'm ready to start doing some harvesting. Oh, this is my fuel trailer, which I'm going to have to go get refilled. So I'm just going to set this over and out of the way until I can go fill it back up again. Remember when I used to bring in those barrels of diesel, have them sitting around? Had them in the back of the pickup truck forever. That was probably not the smartest idea. They were, that could have gotten a little bit dangerous. Anyway, I mean, diesel isn't extremely volatile or anything, not like gasoline, but still. Probably driving around with those in the back of the pickup wasn't the smartest move. Oh well. We were still learning back then. My old cultivator. This thing has come in handy and will come in handy again. Where am I going to park? I'll just put this right over here. Man, the amount of stuff that you acquire over time can be just a little bit amazing, for lack of a better word. Oh, Harv. The Ursus doesn't do well in reverse. You know this by now. Well, it's been a long time. Oh, and I've still got those two old tractors I bought from Chuck back there that I haven't used either. Might have to find a way to put them to use. And then there's the tree harvester. Oh, that bad boy's going to come in handy. And the Haybine. This thing is an amazing piece of equipment, let me tell you. The Haybine really mows grass. Mows it incredibly well. Let's just pull that right up about here. Now let's just go over here. That'll do. We have got a whole lineup of beat up, used up equipment. Not used up, just filthy. That we need to get squared away. Let's see. Drop that bucket right up there. I need to unload those pallets is what I need to do. See, I've already gotten this thing repaired, but not cleaned up. That's my next goal, is just to get this stuff cleaned up. That's what I really want to accomplish right now. And then start working that field again, because hopefully I can get those oats in by the end of the day. See if I can just grab two of these bad boys. Okay, those right there, those are some heavy, heavy, heavy pallets. Ooh, really heavy. I did not anticipate them being quite that challenging. Alright, we're just going to set them aside for now. The lime should be the one wrapped in white. So all told, I think everything, I mean, at this point is as good as it can be. Coming back after 3 years, you know, it's going to take some time, especially the Hugo situation. Yeah, we got one pallet, no problem. The other, 2 at a time, ooh, that was a bit much. So yeah, Hugo's going to have to sort some things out for himself. That's his business. That's his problem. There's nothing I can do. I've you know, said what I can say. Whether he chooses to accept it or not, well, that's on him. Look at the amount of dirt on this Haybine. Holy shnikes, Batman. Looks like it needs some TLC too. That's getting better. And this poor old JCB. I probably ought to drag the power washer down to the farmer's market too, or the farm market, and clean up the equipment down there, whatever's left. I didn't look that close. I should have stopped in there a little bit more, but too many things on my mind today. Too much to get done. Okay, that pretty well takes care of getting this stuff cleaned up. Looks like a nice array. From what I remember, it did the job for what we needed it to do. Let's see. I can get this international cleaned up. I'm going to need this fertilizer spreader. That's going to be the next thing I need anyway, so I can get that cleaned up. Probably swing that by the toolbox right quick, because it looks like it could use a little TLC. Yeah, just a little bit. So we need fertilizer, we need lime, we need fertilizer, and we need seed, and we need herbicide. Herbicide's always a good thing, keep those weeds down. Got to keep your house in order, man. Got to keep your house in order. So where do I stand at this point? Well, raster, that's my first goal. Getting the chickens and cattle back, that's going to be high on the priority list too, because again, I want to get back to self-sufficiency. I don't want to rely on the other side of the lake for too much. I mean, having an agricultural supply closer now is going to help, but again, they are super expensive, so I'm not entirely sure I'm going to rely on them very much. And it seemed like when I was in there that they had a pretty limited supply of equipment available anyway. I didn't look really close, but that seed, that's the fertilizer. I got used to, you know, the little mountable fertilizer spreader on Chellington. You know, the one that just hangs off the back of the tractor. I'm going to grab about 600 liters. I don't want to fill this up because I'm just going to have to empty it again to put the lime on. And yeah, I'll get all of this organized. There's some other equipment that still needs to be cleaned up too in this small shed over here and whatnot, but that's a bridge we'll cross here in a minute. Oh, this spread's way wider than I expected it to. Good. The quicker we can get this field in, the better. That takes care of the fertilizer on our first field. Huzzah! And yeah, that was just about the right amount. Just about. I just ended up using up. There was like maybe 20, 25, 26 liters left. And I just opted to use it all up. So, good to go there. Now, where do I stand? Well, self-sufficiency. Again, that's always been my goal up here. That's continuing to be my goal, and I need to start planning for what I want to do to get that accomplished. Now, Raster is my first goal. I want him back. And I might just come up with a different solution for him. I might just come up with a different solution than what I've got working right there. That worked out in the long run and at the beginning, but I think really, realistically, I could do much nicer for him. Especially now that I've got that big, I'll just call it a pasture. But in order to be self-sufficient, and I'm going to think of this the same way I did in the past, I want the cattle back, I want the chickens back, so I can get my milk and eggs. And what that means is I need to start planning for that. Now that means for cattle, I'm going to need additional hay, which I think this over here is going to do plenty of hay for both the cattle and the horse. I'm going to need to make silage, and I did, I don't remember if you recall that makeshift bunker silo that I was using. That's gone now too, so that'll have to be replaced. I think the grass will be sufficient to make plenty of silage and hay. So that's what's, that's the key at the moment, is silage and hay. And then what else do I need for the cattle? Well, I just need the straw. And then for the chickens, I need either wheat or barley. So I guess after I get the oats in this field, and that's going to provide me with oats and straw for the horse, then I will get a wheat or barley crop planted, probably wheat. Because wheat does me well for making breads and such. Other baked goods if I want them, and other uses as well. Having that flour power, man. Okay, this isn't the 70s. So oats and wheat, that's where we begin. Now I considered putting a corn crop in and maybe making silage from that, but I don't know if you remember, but all the grass we've got around here, although to be fair, I've plowed most of it out. We used to just harvest grass from what was available after cutting trees, but that's not so much an option these days. I have to say it. It's good to be home. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed Chellington. I liked being there. It was great, and that's a weird feeling. I mean, to have your memories missing, you've got this kind of gap in your mind, and all of a sudden one day they come flooding back in. But you've created all of these new memories. So, at this point they almost start fighting with each other, It's weird. It's like, and you lose track of time. Like, you have no concept of time and how that's affected you. And, memories of Chellington are sitting there, and they're right there in your face, but at the same time, you have this whole past that comes back, and it kind of starts to merge, and it's just funky and weird. Oh, I can't even explain it properly. I really can't. It's almost indescribable. It's not something you could really tell somebody about and expect them to understand if they don't know what if they haven't experienced it themselves. Anyway, that's the best I can say about it. There, that's what I want. Man, I've made a mess out of things. Well, and in an attempt to clean things up, I've made a major mess out of things. That's all I can say. That's all I can say about that. Okay, we got our little cedar here, as I recall. We're going to unfold this bad boy. Drop it. I didn't even look to see if it had seeds in it before I did this. Oh, yes, I guess it does. So the one thing that we do have available is seed. Make sure we've got our oats set up there. Get our ridge marker going, because we don't have no fancy schmancy GPS. We use ridge markers. There we go. So the only thing this field should need is another coat of fertilizer and some herbicide, and it will be all set up and ready to go. It's getting late in the day, though. It's good to be home, man. It's good to be home. So, I'm going to keep focusing on that goal of taking care of raster, getting this field planted up with oats, getting things cleaned up and stored away, and see what the future holds here in Willamina Forest. There's a lot of work to get done. A lot of work to get done. But you know, that was always the way of it here. I can't tell you how many times I said, there's so much to do. And actually, from cab view and using ridge markers, this actually works out quite well. Because then I can see I can just drive straight down my prior ridge marker. And this should work just as well as GPS. Alright, well, I'm going to keep sowing this field, getting things squared away on the homestead, and plug right along. Anyhow, I think that's going to do it for this first episode of Season 2 of Off the Grid. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, do me a favor. Please remember to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. And until next time, take care.